The 2022 Volvo XC40 Recharge Twin Pure Electric is Volvo's very first full electric vehicle. If you're a fan of the gasoline-powered XC40, then you're probably gonna love the XC40 Recharge. For starters, it comes with twin electric motors kicking out 201 horsepower, 243 pound-feet of torque, each for a combined 402 horsepower and 486 pound-feet of torque, powering this subcompact SUV down the road at 0 to 60 in about 4.5 seconds. And those front and rear mounted electric motors also make the XC40 all-wheel drive for even greater control and stability on the road. The performance is also enhanced by the staggered wheel sizes on the XC40, with the standard front wheels coming in at a P235/50 HR19, and the rear tire size is a 255/45 R19. So it doesn't look like we're going to be rotating tires anytime soon with the XC40. But on the vehicle we're looking at today, we've got the optional 20-inch rims, which look amazing. Now, the XC40 comes with a 78 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion high-voltage battery, storing up all of the juice, helping to provide some driving distances of around 210 to 220 miles on a full charge, which for some people may not seem like a lot compared to some of the other electric cars out there, but there's always more to a great ride than just the fuel or, shall we say, battery efficiency. Besides, in this electrified world, you can just plug into a DC fast charger and the XC40 can go from about a 10% charge to 80% in around 40 minutes. Or if you're looking for just a short hop home, then you can grab a 50-mile driving range in 10 minutes. Now, speaking of home, if you install a Volvo Cars Wallbox home charger, then it would only take around, call it 5.5 hours to go from the 10 to 80% charge level, or what most people call an overnight charge. Now, for convenience, you can even download the ChargePoint app to your phone and link it to your account to activate and pay for charging from your phone. It will also give you updates on your charging status as well as help locating charging spots. Plus, the battery comes with an 8-year, 100,000-mile warranty. And it's a Volvo. Just look at it. Now, you can't help but appreciate this beautiful Volvo Scandinavian design. Up front, you can see you've got the LED Thor lights. Huh? The hammer, right? I did that, by the way. This is the key fob right here, and it's also your turn signal. It looks awesome. Plus, you have full LEDs in front, as well as fog lights. You can see right here, because of the electrification of the vehicle, you don't need as much airflow up front, and that's why you don't have the traditional front grille. You just have this, nice cover up front, highlighting the Volvo logo, which integrates one of the cameras. Very nice. This has a 360-degree camera system on it, which is a very, very nice feature. All right. Now there's a release right here on the right-hand side. You have your dual piston control, and underneath here, a lot of plastic. A lot of plastic. Underneath here, though, you have a little storage area, not much, about maybe a cubic foot or so, but it definitely is covered. Now, this is something that I'm curious about. Underneath the hood, you have a heat resonator shield, and that's typically designed on a gasoline engine to reduce the amount of heat hitting the hood from the engine, but this is an electric motor. It's not producing that much heat. I don't get it. Anyway, whenever you close a hood that's got the two pistons, first of all, you've got your double lockdowns here. Pull it gently forward. You don't want to yank on those pistons, and then just press straight down. What do you think about that? Look what you learned just by watching one of our videos. Now, it may be a little bit hard to see and appreciate on this black on black coloration that we have for this vehicle today, but you do have nicely styled lower body cladding around the wheel wells along the lower base of the car. This helps to protect the vehicle from rocks and stones, just like the plastic inner wheel well liner will as well. Now, as you come around the vehicle, you'll notice that there's about 6.9 inches, almost 7 inches of ground clearance. A little bit less than the regular gasoline XC40, but that's just because of the battery being positioned in the vehicle of itself. And back here we have our charge port for juicing up your XC40. What's nice is the beautifully sculpted lines into the body of the vehicle that enhance the appearance as well as the aerodynamics. And you see the recharge emblem embossed in the back here, very, very subtle. Now in the rear you have your very large tail lights, which Volvo is known for. And of course you could open this up with your hand, but I prefer to grab my key fob and open the rear hatch automatically. That way, it just makes life a little bit easier. And back here, you have a tremendous amount of useful cargo space where you have 21.7 cubic feet with the back seat up. And right here, you have this fold-away rear floor area where you have a couple more cubic feet of cargo space. Great place you could tuck away your charging cables should you so desire, or anything else. And there's even a couple spots on either side as well. And this has a 60-40 split folding rear seat as well as a center pass-through. And with those seats down, you have 57.5 cubic feet of cargo space. So that's a lot of room, plenty of room for people as well as cargo, and a nice cargo cover. Oh, and over here is a 12-volt power source, which is very convenient as well. And that's no, I'm just kidding. It's an electric car. It's an electric joke. I couldn't pass it by. Sorry. And you also have a hands-free foot release. Now, of course, with any electrified vehicle, you don't have any exhaust pipes because there's no exhaust. But there is plenty of room to attach a towing hitch should you so desire, and this can tow up to 2,000 pounds. However, if you're going to be towing something super heavy like that, that's certainly going to reduce your driving range. Just thought you might want to know. Climbing into the back seat is an adventure in and of itself. Well, I tell you what, this is a very nice interior. For the back area, you have your carpeted inlays right here and the doors just like you have up front, and it just mimics everything around. It makes you feel cozy with the leather, the stitching, and of course the Alcantara insert makes you feel sporty even in the back seat. Plus there's decent headroom as far as that's concerned. I'm not the tallest person. I think, taller people better sit up front unless it's a short trip. But you do have a little more space with this panoramic moonroof up here, which is very cool. It's good for two back here. You could probably fit a third person in a pinch, but it's just a short pinch. I like the fact we have heated seats back here, especially since it's fall turning into winter. And down here you think you have a 12 volt, but actually it's two USB ports down here, which is great. Ventilation back here, which always comes in handy. Plus obligatory armrest and cup holders. And of course, right here, you do have your pass-through. So if you did have longer items you want to slide in, that's where that would go. I like the fact that you have your sculpted back seat, so that does add a little more knee and leg room for you. And you do have dual nets on either side. Cha-cha-cha-ching. And there's even a little tiny storage areas right next to you, but I think that's just for stuff falling out of your pockets. It just kind of catches right there. And it's cozy. So I've got to mention this before we get started, and it's regarding the transmission settings and for the single drive-by-wire, transmission gear. The way Volvo has set this up is that in order to go forward, you have to pull the shifter back to drive. In order to go backwards, you have to push the shifter forward to go in reverse. All right. Is it just me, or wouldn't it make a little more sense that if I want to go forward, I push the gear forward? And if I want to go back, isn't it more intuitive to follow me here, pull it back? Oh well. People say I never complain about anything in my videos, but that's just not correct. I just did. That'll take me about, 5 minutes to get used to. I'm on a back street, there's no traffic, there's no cars. I'm warning my camera guy in the back to hold on tight. Are you ready for this? It's crazy. By the way, that was about 55 miles an hour. Almost 55. It's insane. It's electric. If you perchance like our video and you're not a subscriber, then you can subscribe. That would be awesome. You can just click the icon at the bottom right side of the screen, and then when you click the notification bell afterwards, then you'll get a notification every time we post, and that would be awesome. We'd love to have you as a full-time subscriber. The Volvo XC40, pure electric, obviously as smooth as silk as far as acceleration is concerned. You have instant torque and so much of it. Wow, this regenerative braking one pedal control really takes a little getting used to. It really slows you down. I hope people behind me know I've got it on. Now, one of the things people driving electric cars have to get used to is how quick these are. Because if you're stuck in traffic like this and you accidentally sneeze and throw your foot down, you're going to be at the back of that bumper so fast. So it does have a little bit of a learning curve to it. But it's something you just get used to. It's like getting used to driving any car to begin with, right? Took a little while. Remember when you used to grind through gears? Thank God it was your parents' car. Sorry, Mom and Dad. One of the things that I really can appreciate is how maneuverable the XC40 is. I mean, like I said, you can adjust the steering, but it has a very tight turning radius. Really, it's got so many strong points. And you're helping the environment by driving electric. Now, you do have your usual wiper system on the right, headlight system on the left. You have your memory seating buttons right here, which is always handy. You do have power seats for both the driver and the passenger, so that's a plus. And this is the Plus Edition, by the way. This is not the Ultimate Edition, it's the Plus Edition, in case I haven't mentioned that before. But this does come with some really, really nice features, such as this panoramic moonroof. It's actually, the glass and the roof in the back half, but the front is the ventilated part, but it's just beautiful. Now, sitting in the SUV, you are sitting up high, even though it's a compact SUV. You have excellent visibility all the way around, and side mirrors, easily controlled. And I like the fact that you have the automatic pop down of the rear headrest when you're back there, so that allows you to get just a little more visibility out the back. I think it's the characteristic of driving a Volvo that sticks with you most about this particular vehicle, because you have a wonderfully laid out Scandinavian interior, just like the beautiful exterior. You have these nice metal inlays across the front and the side, which gives you sort of a modern appeal to the vehicle, and it's very simple but elegant. And I know the top area here is kind of hard, but you've got a softer area here for your arm, which is nice. And as I mentioned, in the back seat, you have your carpet inlays in the door insets, and it just seems to wrap around it, and it feels a lot warmer, so to speak. And you're also kind of in the lap of luxury. I will tell you, these seats are luxurious. Like I said, this Alcantara inset and the side bolstering really keeps you planted, and you have nice chrome accents throughout the vehicle. Like I mentioned, the vents are very cool. And here you have your drive modes if you're going off-road, which we're not, or the safety features involved, the driving dynamics, and this is the one-pedal drive. And when you push it and you turn it on, you can immediately feel the drag of the regenerative system, and that's designed to help you get longer driving distances, longer range. So that's a good thing. And what's nice is you do have this 9-inch screen in the center, and it is not the usual Volvo Sensus screen by any means. It's Android Automotive, so it is set up to handle all your particulars from a Google perspective, but you do not have Apple CarPlay just yet. Anyway, I was talking about the Google mapping system, and it's very crisp, easy to read, easy to control. You do have voice activation systems with it as well, which is great. You have your Google Assistant. Check it out. Hey Google, what's the temperature outside?
The temperature in Herndon right now is 50 degrees.
50 degrees. Thank you. See? I like it. Hey, Google, what's my wife gonna cook for dinner tonight?
You shouldn't expect her to cook anything tonight. Why don't you try making dinner for a change? Or better yet, you should plan to take her out to a nice restaurant. You understand, Mr. Car Review Guy?
I wonder if it would really tell me what she's cooking for dinner. That's awesome. Anyway, no, it has all these great features. You even have a range setting so that it'll tell me based upon my charge. I know I've got a 70% charge based upon my instrument cluster, which by the way is the 12.3-inch digital cluster right here. It does have two settings. You have this little button here on the steering wheel. You have right now the Navi setting, so I can see navigation even though it's not on my center screen, it's on my gauge cluster. And I can hit it again and it will give me just the calm setting, which is simply the speedometer and the gearing and the tach. Now, you do have a multimedia interface display, and I can connect with that here, and it gives me some general readouts, nothing extravagant by any means, but you know, it's nice to know it's there. On the center screen here, you can look up at your camera system, and I can see who's behind me right now. Anyway, I have 360-degree visibility as well. I can see there's that big truck over there. I can see this guy's not moving. It's very cool. It's very cool. And you can adjust it, touch it, move it, and groove it. It's awesome. And you can adjust the steering, by the way. You can tighten it up should you so desire under the drive settings. Let's see, range assistant, like I was mentioning, it'll even tell you you have range optimization, so that if you ever feel like I really need to squeeze out every mile out of every ounce of battery power, then you just hit that and it'll reduce your air conditioning, your thermal response, things of that nature. What I think is fun though is that it'll actually tell you where you're using your juice, how your juice is actually being used. And is it speed? Is it the driving style? Is it the climate control? And oh, you have your Bluetooth capability, your radio setup, your Sirius radio, connect your phone, of course. You have your owner's manual here at your fingertips, so if you want to learn how to use different items on the vehicle, you can do that. You also have your vehicle settings, like I mentioned, driving, charging, sound, connectivity controls, applications, policies, Google itself and the system, and whatever, and whatever, whatever. So you got all of that cool stuff. And your air conditioning system, speaking of AC, and if you want to set your front defroster, rear defroster, set up your AC, recirculation. If you just want automatic settings, you can do that and control your fan speed. It's a dual sync, so if you want to have individual controls, you can dual sync it with that. So all of that is very hefty, very friendly. So yeah, it's nice. It's not the Census, it's one step further and beyond. But what's really cool is that they're going to have available downloads eventually, that you can upgrade this, add more apps, things of that nature. You do have some manual controls that mimic what we just hit electronically with your defroster system, stereo control, volume knob. You can do it here, you can do it on the steering wheel itself. You also have the 12-volt capability. You can just plug in right down there. There's also a C USB, and as we mentioned, there's more USB connectivity in the back. In the center, you have your dual cup holders, and you also have this center armrest. You pull it on up, oops, plenty of space. There's a trash can down here that you can remove if you want more storage space, and then, well, you can put it anywhere you want. You could put it over here, you could put it over there, you could put it in here, there, everywhere. You'd probably buy it for that reason alone, wouldn't you? On the glove box, you have a hook. Yes, you do. You have a hook. I shouldn't do this while I'm driving. Anyway, you can flip the hook inside the glove box in case you don't want it, but it's a good place to put bags. And this vehicle is so quiet on the inside, obviously, because it's electric. And that's what's great. There's plenty of soundproofing, insulation. You saw the insulation underneath the hood of the vehicle, for goodness sakes. But that will allow you to enjoy your stereo system even more with your 8-speaker standard stereo. But when you step up to the Ultimate Edition of the XC40, then you get the Harman Kardon premium sound system with 14 speakers, and that is definitely a plus. I would take that any day over any standard stereo system. Oh, there is a place right up here on the windshield where you can put a business card. Yes, you can. Right there, make it handy dandy. Or if you have a parking pass you gotta, let everybody know you paid for your parking, you slide it up there. Everybody knows how safe Volvos are. I mean, they are the king of safety. And obviously the XC40 has all of the safety features that you could ever hope for, as far as, you know, your blind spot detection, your lane keep assist, the 360 camera like I mentioned, the parking sensors front and rear, cross traffic detection, pedestrian detection, road mitigation, accident mitigation, controls, things of that nature. And you can get, as you go up in the upper trim level, you can get the adaptive cruise control, which is right here, set your distance. It has braking that'll help you too. And what's really neat is when you turn the vehicle in reverse, you've got this really cool chime to let people know, because it's so quiet, that you're backing up. So you're surrounded with safety. All right, so how much does the 2022 Volvo XC40 run? Well, for the Pure Edition, like we're in right now, that starts out at only 55.3 plus plus plus. But if you step up to the Ultimate Edition, then that's going to be about 3,000, I think it's 58,150 plus plus plus. Now, what Volvo's done with this particular vehicle is that you can only buy it online. Yes, you heard me correctly. You simply go to the dealership, drive a vehicle like the test vehicle we're in right now, fall in love with it, duh, and then you spec it out online and send in your order to Volvo. They will create the vehicle, work out all the paperwork for you, and ship it to the dealership of your choice in about 10 days or so, I'm told. So this is a new way of shopping and buying for a vehicle, I've got to say. So, you know, I'll be interested to see how that works out, and I bet you will too. So if you're looking for a vehicle, you want to, you know, step up from a hybrid or just jump full force into electric, then you really want to look closely at the XC40 if you're looking for that subcompact SUV. It has so much Volvo safety and technology and comfort and the Scandinavian styling and all the joys of an electric ride. I think you'll probably think it's one of the best investments you'll ever make. Check it out. See how it feels for you. You won't be disappointed.